First tonight at 10, a young teenager found dead at a home in Iowa County. Police tonight calling it suspicious.
Plus, what we know tonight about a settlement between Trek Bicycle and the family of the late comedian Chris Farley.
And later, the first new tenant has moved into the old Oscar Mayer plant.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We are continuing to follow what police are calling a suspicious death in Mineral Point. A 13-year-old died a week ago.
Police telling us they are still investigating. Amy Reed has been following this story, and she joins us now from the news center. Amy, still more questions than answers, right?
That's right. Even though this happened last week, we're just hearing about it today. And as police continue to investigate, we're piecing together what we know so far. Wednesday afternoon, Iowa County Sheriff's Office released little information on the suspicious death of a 13-year-old girl in Mineral Point. We know the investigation is happening just outside of town on Miller Road. The house at the address on the release is listed as a pending sale online. We contacted one of the former owners, and he said he moved out about a year and a half ago, and he thinks it was sold again a few months back. There are people living there, but they didn't want to talk on camera yet. We don't know if they're related to the 13-year-old girl. The sheriff's office did make one thing straight. They said there are no indications child sex trafficking or a threat to the public exist. They said they're working diligently to gather factual information on this case. They said that may take a considerable amount of time. We did reach out to the sheriff to try and get more information on this case, but he wasn't available. We will continue to follow this story and keep you informed as we learn more.
Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you.
A new report shows Unity Point Health Meritor is facing additional violations following the latest federal investigation into the hospital. Those violations include not installing battery-powered lights in a procedure room and failing to have a remote stop for a generator, which according to the report can lead to severe injury or even death for patients on life support. This is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services' third investigation into Meritor this year. An initial investigation was prompted by reports of patient abuse inside the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit. A spokesperson with Meritor tells News 3 they have resolved all of the violations and are waiting on official approval.
Trek Bicycle has reached a settlement with the family of late Saturday Night Live star Chris Farley. A federal lawsuit was filed against the Wisconsin-based company for naming its Fat Tire Bikes Farley. A spokesman for Trek says the settlement was reached today and says the terms are confidential, but the company can continue making Farley bikes. The lawsuit alleged Trek misappropriated Farley's name and traded on his Fat Guy brand of comedy. A company is moving into the old Oscar Mayer office space. Reich Brothers Holdings bought the Madison property from Kraft Heinz last year. Reich Brothers is now leasing the space to Total Administrative Services known as TASK. The Madison company moved into part of former Oscar Mayer office space at the beginning of this month.
A Wisconsin Drug Task Force arrested 2 people in Sturgeon Bay today. Officials say they were contacted by customs agents down in Miami who intercepted a package full of drugs being sent to the home. The Door County Sheriff's Office says cocaine and marijuana with a street value of about $25,000 was seized. Alice Marie Johnson is a free woman tonight. The president pardoned her today just days after a high-profile celebrity visited the Oval Office on her behalf. The 63-year-old great-grandmother was released from prison this evening. She has served more than 20 years for a first-time, non-violent federal drug offense. Last week, reality TV star Kim Kardashian visited the Oval Office to lobby for her release. Johnson's commutation is the 6th clemency act the president has issued since taking office. It's the second granted after a celebrity had asked for his help.
The state of Wisconsin will be getting nearly $90 million less than requested from the federal government to help pay for a construction project on I-94 in the Milwaukee area. Senator Tammy Baldwin says the federal government will give the state $160 million, $86 million less than the $246 million that was requested. Today, the governor says it is still enough to get the project done in the next 3 years, which is 11 years ahead of schedule.
Our goal wasn't so much the dollar amount, it was whether or not we could get I-94 moved up, which we are, and make sure we weren't taking it away from any other projects across the state, which we are not.
He says the money not being used on the I-94 expansion will go toward other road and bridge projects this year. The State Department of Transportation says 24 traffic citations and 27 warnings have been given out since the speed change along I-3990 in Dane and Rock counties. The speed limit changed from 70 to 55 miles per hour, and that went into effect Saturday morning, June 2nd. This change was in response to a series of crashes that closed the interstate on several consecutive days.
The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association says it is reconsidering a decision to limit participation in a statewide debate for the Democratic candidates for governor. The WBA said yesterday it was only going to allow 4 of the 10 candidates to appear at its live debate July 27th, only allowing the highest rated candidates from the Marquette University Law School poll. Today, the organization tweeted saying, quote, "The WBA Foundation has heard the concerns raised about the primary debates planned for July and is considering its options. Expect a statement in the coming days."
Hard to believe this week marks the 10th anniversary of the start of flooding in 2008 that wreaked havoc throughout southern Wisconsin. Officials said it was the worst disaster since the flooding that hit the Midwest in 1993. 3 people died in the floods and thousands of homes and businesses were destroyed. 31 counties across southern Wisconsin were impacted.
Well, let's get a look at our forecast for tonight and beyond. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us tonight. First alert weather in the Weather Center. Dave.
Eric, it is pretty calm tonight, but just to our south and west, we are still dealing with some pretty severe thunderstorms at the present time. That watch just expired a few minutes ago, and those thunderstorms are weakening at the present time. And we do have a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms for southern Wisconsin, but the chances don't look that great. Downtown Madison, the Edgewater Skycam looking at partly cloudy skies right now. Current conditions at 63 with a calm wind, dew point at 59, so definitely a milder night ahead compared to last night at this time, where temperatures dropped into the 40s overnight. Temperatures right now in the 60s and still a few 70s in Monroe and Platteville, toward Dubuque, Iowa as well. That is considerably warmer, especially closer to Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Kenosha, where it's about 15 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Dew points are near 60 degrees, which is starting to be able to feel the air outside, a little bit on the humid side and getting more humid over the next couple of days. Starting off in the 60s tomorrow, reaching highs near 80 with a slight chance of showers and storms. We'll time out those shower chances and storm chances as we head into the weekend in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Dave, thank you. New details released in an interstate crash that left 20 people, many children, injured last month.
A criminal complaint released today says the truck driver, Wayne Murphy, showed little remorse for his actions and likely took too much anti-anxiety medication, causing the crash. You'll remember a busload of kids was hit by his semi-truck on May 23rd. The Hope Christian School Semper kids were on their way from Milwaukee to the Dells when their bus pulled over on I-39 near the town of Arlington because of engine issues. Murphy told investigators he had not been drinking, but admitted to using anti-anxiety medication and generally seemed unconcerned with the crash. He is facing 10 charges, including 5 counts of intoxicated use of a vehicle and 5 counts of second-degree reckless injury. Investigators also found half-empty and empty bottles of Xanax on the floor of the truck. One bottle, filled May 14th, had 51 of the 120 pills, meaning Murphy took 69 pills in just about 8 days.
Rock County could have a chance to vote on legalizing marijuana come November. A Rock County board supervisor wants to put the question on the ballot to gauge people's interest. This comes after Milwaukee County voted to include a similar question on the ballot this fall. The supervisor says it's not just marijuana smokers who would benefit from legalizing the drug.
Whether you care about this from the point of view of individual freedom or agriculture, or because we have people incarcerated for nonviolent crimes and the amount of money this is costing all of us as taxpayers, it seems like there's wide support.
Rashkin is scheduled to present the referendum to the board on June 14th. The board will then have until August 28th to decide whether to include it on the ballot.
Following news, the Miss America pageant will drop the swimsuit and evening gown competitions. The Wisconsin competition will need to change their rules. The Miss La Crosse Oktoberfest competition is ending the categories as well to comply with state and national rules as an official preliminary pageant to Miss America. Local officials say they're ready for the change. All Miss America prelims will make the change for the coming 2019 season. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources says the state's wolf population may finally be stabilizing after decades of growth. Volunteer trackers reported a minimum wolf count between about 900 to 950 animals this winter, which is higher than anticipated, but the DNR says a few more years of data are needed to confirm the population stabilization. The federal government removed wolves from the federal endangered species list 2011, which allowed state lawmakers to establish a wolf hunt. A federal judge returned wolves to the endangered species list in 2014.
The Milwaukee Bucks are talking about some of the new features of their new arena. One of the changes coming will impact certain restrooms. The Bucks are offering a gender-neutral option, which will accompany dozens of men's and women's restrooms. The Bucks front office believes owning the future requires forward thinking. The team's senior vice president says that involves making everyone feel comfortable, which is why the team is offering all of those different options. Still to come tonight at 10, new bag restrictions for this year's Summerfest in Milwaukee, what you can and cannot bring in.
And he's back. Starburst Bucky reinstalled at James Madison Park after being pushed into the lake. We'll hear from the artist next.
Welcome back. A Bucky on Parade statue that was pushed into Lake Mendota last month has made a full recovery. Today, reinstalled at James Madison Park. That is Sunburst Bucky, found in the waters of Lake Mendota back on May 10th. Police investigated it as an act of vandalism, but so far have made no arrests in that case. Jenny Hayden, the artist who designed Sunburst, spent more than 8 hours repainting it, making a few minor changes this second time around.
When I first heard about it, my heart sank, but then I grabbed my paint and was basically ready to come back and get them back going. So, you know, I kind of thought of it like, I'm going to teach them how to bucky. This is how you bucky. This is getting it right back up there.
Took Hayden a month to originally paint Sunburst Bucky, one of 85 life-size Bucky Badger statues located throughout Madison and Dane County. The public art project runs until mid-September.
We are just a few hours away from a monumental moment for the Dane County Airport. Tomorrow, the first direct flight from Madison to San Francisco will take off. The flight will be about 4.5 hours long, and ticket prices vary depending on where you look and what dates you'll be traveling. Beginning tomorrow, Madison will be the smallest city east of the Mississippi and the second smallest city east of the Rocky Mountains to have nonstop flights to San Francisco. And a first alert traffic note to be aware of in the coming days. Lacey Road between Seminole Highway and Fitch-Rona Road in Fitchburg will close for 2 weeks starting June 11th. That is next Monday. Crews say no through traffic will be allowed during the road construction, weather permitting. The road is planned to be reopened on or before June 24th.
Well, there are some changing bag restrictions at this year's Summerfest in Milwaukee. Organizers say there's a new ban on large bags at the music festival. This is part of an updated security policy. Bags cannot be larger than 9 by 10 by 12 inches. No backpacks will be allowed into the Meyer Festival Park. Summerfest will start June 27th. A new concert venue set to open this fall on East Washington Avenue in Madison, asking for a little help decorating.
The Sylvie is gathering cassette tapes to make into a mural. It is asking people to donate pre-recorded artist album tapes. They do not want blank or mixed tapes, and the cases are not needed. They say for every 10 tapes donated, individuals will be entered into a drawing for a 4-pack of tickets to any show at the venue. For information on where you can donate, check out our website, channel3000.com. I have a boatload.
Yeah, you get your Journey and your Air Supply.
I got so many cassette tapes I could donate.
Dave Caulfield, he knows that old music. He's a lot younger than we are, but he knows that. You referenced Gloria Estefan last night, right? Miami Sound Machine?
Exactly.
Get
you have to.
Let's see where we're going to go tonight, Dave.
I don't know. That's the trouble, is I don't know where it's going to go until I'm there, and then I'm behind the wheel saying, how did this happen? But let's get to it. Let's get it over with. Doppler track is showing some rain and storms still continuing in southern Iowa. We don't have to worry about any of that heading into southern Wisconsin tonight, although a slight chance of a shower and storm can't be ruled out overnight, but pretty quiet on Doppler track this evening. We have a nearly stationary front that will be around over the next couple of days that will spark up our storm chances for tomorrow, Friday, and into Saturday as well. As far as June precipitation goes, not a whole lot, but that's okay, especially after the May that we've had. We could use a little bit of a break. However, 4 out of 6 days have featured at least a trace of rain at the Dane County Airport. So that got me thinking, as far as percentages go, with all the rain we received, the second wettest May on record last month, it actually only rained about 50% of the time. 55% of the days in May featured rain. For June, that percentage is a little bit higher, but we still have a lot of the month to go, keep in mind. For June 2017 last year, 60% of the days featured a little bit of rain. So current conditions in Madison, no rain to speak of. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. But for now, 63 with calm winds, dew point at 59 degrees. So a little bit on the humid side. It could be a little bit more comfortable outside, but we'll have to deal with it, I guess. High temperatures for today, 70s and 80s. 80 in Boscobel, where we saw a little bit more sunshine. For south central Wisconsin, a couple of degrees cooler than that. Temperatures right now are in the 60s, still a few 70s in Monroe and Platteville, and Prairie du Chien at 68 right now. Dew points, as I mentioned, some of us in the 60s, so a little bit on the humid side, but that humidity will creep up a little bit more over the next few days. Now, our high temperature trend also creeping up a little bit, so don't let it surprise you. We're talking about temperatures near 80 degrees as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. Now, future track showing the kind of assault of fronts that is coming in over the next couple of days. We will see that cold front come through Thursday into Friday and early Friday morning, just in time for that commute. We could see some showers and storms. Then later on Friday into Saturday, some more storms could be with us as well. We're really going to have our umbrella as our best friend over the next couple of days, because you never know when you'll need your best friend, folks. That's deep right there. Tonight, 60, becoming partly cloudy. A shower and thunderstorm can't be ruled out as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures will be close to 80. Partly sunny, mild, and again, a shower and thunderstorm can't be ruled out. Future track showing things staying calm tonight. We'll reach lows in the 60s, starting off tomorrow in the 60s, and a little bit on the milder side compared to last night. As we head into the day on Thursday, slight chance of showers and storms, but the better chances do arrive as we head into Friday, well, early Friday, I should say, and also on Saturday, we do have some storm chances. For the middle of this month, maybe a little bit cooler and rainier. So if you're not a fan of the 80s, maybe the middle of the month is for you. We'll have to wait and see. 7-day forecast showing things staying about 5 degrees above normal for this time of year over the next week, then possibly a little bit warmer as we head into next weekend, with our humidity really going up at that point, with heat index values in the low 90s by the time we get to next Friday and Saturday. So we'll wait for that. We'll deal with typical weather for this time of year, and hopefully the rhythm doesn't get you tonight either.
I think we're good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. A rare Wednesday night high school soccer game with a lot on the line. We'll have the story from Middleton just ahead in sports.
Most of the WIA girls soccer sectional semifinal games are for tomorrow, but there's one tonight. Janesville Craig travels to Middleton, where the Cardinals haven't lost to a team from Wisconsin yet this year. They tied when they played earlier this season, but tonight we have a winner. 37th minute, one of the best goals you'll see all year. Craig's Caitlin Shanks heads it in, and the Cougars take a 1-0 lead. And after that, Craig's goalkeepers Abby Schrader and Maya Rowenkamp combined for 15 saves to post the shutout. Final score, Janesville Craig 1, Middleton 0. Craig will play the winner of tomorrow's Sun Prairie Kettle Moraine game in the sectional final Saturday at Kettle Moraine. Goodman Diamond going to be a busy place the next few days. There are 7 WIA state softball games scheduled right after the other on both Thursday and Friday. The 5 division championship games are Saturday. In Division 1, the Sun Prairie Cardinals are on a roll. They ruled Holman in the sectional final in Baraboo and have a season record of 23-0. Katie Tews leads the Sun Prairie offense with a .632 batting average, and pitcher Maddie Gardner has an earned run average of 0.48 this season. Sun Prairie plays Appleton North in the Division 1 quarterfinals tomorrow morning at 10. Other local teams playing on Friday, Poynette and Westfield meet in the Division 3 semis at noon, and at 4:30 Friday, Portage plays in the Division 2 semifinals against Whitnall. That's all at Goodman Diamond. The Packers wrap up their 3rd and final OTA tomorrow. Next up after that is a mandatory minicamp that starts June 12th in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers' contract and long-term future in Green Bay has been a topic of much discussion lately. The 34-year-old Rodgers has always said he wanted to play into his 40s, and he'd like that to be with the Green Bay Packers.
Every player would love to be able to pick when and how they finish up. That usually doesn't happen, though. So I'm going to try and play as well as I can for a number of years, and hopefully it's here the entire time. I got 2 years left on my deal, so I don't have a drop-dead date. I expect to play at a, MVP caliber level this year like I do every year, and, I'm not worried about it.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight in Cleveland. The Cavs trying to get back in the series. Warriors leading late 4th quarter. Game 4 in Cleveland Friday night. The NCAA Outdoor Track Championships are underway in Eugene, Oregon. Men's 1,500 meters. Top 5 in each heat advance to the final, and Wisconsin's Ollie Hoare won the Big Ten 1,500-meter title. He'll go for an NCAA championship, too. Hoare finishes 2nd in his heat, 3:49.42, to comfortably qualify for the 1,500-meter NCAA final. Eric Thames could be back on the Brewers roster by early next week. He's starting a rehab assignment in Colorado Springs, could join the big club next Monday. This afternoon, the Brewers lost in Cleveland, their 3rd straight loss. They took the lead in the 3rd inning, though. Travis Shaw leads the Brewers in RBIs. This is his 38th RBI this season. Christian Yelich scores. It's 1-0. But Jeremy Jeffress been humid lately, has a bit of a rough outing in relief of Chase Anderson. Jose Ramirez, who homered last night, drives in the winning run today. Final score, Indians 3, Brewers 1. Cubs trailing the Phillies 5-3 in the 9th at Wrigley. And we'll be right back.
Finally, tonight, there was an unexpected guest at a Grant County home over the week. This was actually on Monday. Brittany Lachey Stewart providing us that video, that deer checking out that duplex. This was in Platteville Monday afternoon. The officers there to knock out a window, and they were able to get the deer out unharmed. Come on out. Come on out. And
wow.
Boom.
Perfect.
Fear
no
the
harm
deer.
done except the window. Yeah, fear the deer.
Fear the deer. Fear the deer. Absolutely.
Final check, Dave.
We're not fearing the weather tonight. It's going to be pretty quiet. Any thunderstorms will stay well to the south and west of us. Temperatures will bottom out near 60 during the morning hours, so a milder night ahead. By the time we get to tomorrow afternoon, highs will be near 80 degrees with a slight chance of showers and storms, but the better chance for storms arrives Thursday night into Friday. Then as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, temperatures are close to 80 degrees over the next week, a little bit warmer in the middle of this month.
All right. Thanks for joining us at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you here tomorrow.